Hey everybody, welcome to Alcohol and Arcana, a questionably accurate discussion on fantasy lore. I'm your practitioner for Pixies, Blake.
I'm your gravel griffin, Bryce.
And I'm your non-licensed imagination consultant, Travis. You do have to tell everybody that you're non-licensed. It's a sort of a qualifier that you have to do before you put out any kind of professional work. So
I've gotten in a lot of trouble because I was doing unsolicited and illegal legal advice. No, I wasn't. Please God, no, I really was not.
I was consulting on a lot of imagination, and I did have to start qualifying every bit of my work and paperwork with, hey, I'm actually non-licensed. I did not go through the proper licensing requirements of the state. So
I know what everybody's thinking. Everybody's thinking, is this the day the boys finally get their audio right? And you know what? I'm anxious to see too.
Aren't we all?
I think I'm very confident that this is the day that we're going to do it.
We'll see.
But today, this is the best day to get the audio quality right because we're talking about the number one topic that I think everybody is curious about. It's been on a lot of people's minds. It's come up a lot in personal conversations with folks when we bring up the fact that we have a podcast talking about Arcana specifically. They say, hey, when are you guys going to do a podcast on ettins?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? It's coming up. I think it is a number one topic. It is super popular, but we want to wait until we get it right. We do the proper research. And so today's podcast is finally addressing what everybody was curious about, and that is the topic of ettins.
That day is today.
Super popular monster. Everybody loves them. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to know a little bit more about them, and we're happy to.
People have been beating down our door to get to this topic, to be honest. I've had several break-ins, been woken in the middle of the night by strangers yelling that ettins need to be next.
And they just shriek ettins at the top of their lungs.
Inundated the Gmail servers. Like, Google couldn't keep up with all the emails we got. Oh, when are you doing ettins? You got to talk about ettins. Well, today's the day.
You did you actually put together like a Gmail filter text on ettins so that you could have like a separate thing. It's like if the email contains ettins at all in the subject line or the body of the email, put it in this folder. And that folder has broken our Gmail constraints. It's just off the charts.
Mm-hmm. We got to come up with a new email. It's not even close. There's no way to delete all that. With the rate it's coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was debating on suggesting to you guys a separate Ettin podcast where we almost entirely focused on Ettin lore, Ettin history, Ettin sort of appearance.
The demand is there.
And
what would we call that? Would it be like enthusiastic for ettins?
It'd be something like that. It would, I think, that's probably exactly what it would be.
Betting on ettins.
Blake.
I don't know what it's going to be. Like, we got to come up with this. It's very important that we get through this real podcast we're going to make.
Eating ettins. Podcast of how to cook and prepare ettins for food.
Oh my God. But that's a practical podcast. This is entertainment. Like, we don't want to bore people. Like, with just like, you salt it.
Right.
That's like...
Fuck you. I like cooking shows and stuff.
The only downside to doing ettins right now is that it is really early in the podcast, and I feel like we're sort of getting through it too fast. I mean, there's just a lot of meat in the bone there, and we probably could have waited until we had a little bit more following. But I think we're just going to do it. We're just going to run with it because we have a lot to say. I think we've all decided that.
I think you're absolutely right. And, like, the best part is like, everybody knows what an ettin is. Everybody knows, like, what they look like. Everybody knows exactly, like, pretty much all their history. So it's just us, like, really doing a quick rundown. I think before we really get rolling, we should probably talk about what we're drinking today because, everybody's just dying for the ettins. So let's just go ahead and run through that right quick. So,
let's
Bryce, what are you drinking?
I'm excited.
What are you eating? Bryce, what are you eating on there? I feel like you're eating some dinner or something. Or what do you got going on?
When you're drinking, it's always important to have food in your stomach, too. So today I got
Is that an official podcast recommendation to eat while you drink? I don't know.
Eat while you drink.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Don't drink to excess.
I've been told to always drink on an empty stomach.
Well, it's cheaper that way.
That's what I've been told too.
All right, so I got a beer from the Champion Brewing Company. This one is called Melee. I'm really excited about this one. This is a session IPA. The artwork on it has got like it's a monster claw coming down on a city or some shit. I really like the art.
Yeah, it's badass, man. I really like that.
Yeah. So 35 IBUs, 4.2% because it is a session. It says a toned down, close quarters version of our IPA. I'm excited about it.
Well, let's hear how it is. I'm excited.
Ooh, get that foam, man.
Second time. Oh,
Put that in there.
Oh, yeah. It's very...
In the gullet.
It's very refreshing. It's a refreshing IPA.
That's good. I'm proud that you didn't pronounce it mealy, because I hate people that say mealy.
Who says
I think
mealy?
that's way wrong.
Hey, if you say
A
mealy,
lot of people
fuck
do.
Is that not it? I thought it was melee.
Melee.
We're going to have to postpone the Ettin part of the episode so that we can thoroughly make fun of Blake for pronouncing melee.
It's melee.
Yeah, this is a really good.
Melee.
This is a really
Yeah.
good IPA. It's 35 IBUs,
Yeah.
so really not that bitter for an IPA. But really, it's a really good like summer outside IPA, sipping IPA.
All right. See, I like a very, very bitter IPA. Is my personal preference.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I like a bitter IPA, but
I want my IPA to be as bitter as my family about how poorly I've done in life. That's how bitter I want an IPA.
oh
Yeah.
boy, they're going to be excited to hear about your podcast. It has 3 listeners, 2 of which
If
are
you're one of
us.
those 3 listeners, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, so Travis, what are you drinking?
So I've got, hopefully nothing too boring here, but another local brewery product, Karbach Hop Tongue IPA. So I think we have talked a little bit about Karbach in previous episodes, but I'm continuing that local Houston tradition here. This is a fantastic IPA, one of their good product line. I'll read you real quick what it says on the side of the can. If you're looking for the bitter truth, then you've got the right brew. For those seeking to whet their appetite with a hop-filled delight, this West Coast style IPA will drive you wild, and it almost has kind of the Rolling Stones style tongue out.
Oh, yeah, but it's a
logo.
hop. That's nice.
But it's a hop instead of a tongue. I think you need a tongue to survive. I don't know if you replaced your tongue with a hop, if you would actually,
You don't need a tongue.
if you'd actually live as
you
a
do
human
not
being
need
or
a tongue
not.
to survive. What kind of idiot are you?
Okay, hey, fair enough.
You
know.
you need a tongue to taste, Travis.
Well, I do absolutely need a tongue to taste this beer, so let me crack it open
Heyo.
and tell you guys how it tastes with my non-hop tongue, but drinking a hop tongue IPA. Pretty solid, 70 IBU, by the way, so a little bit more bitter than the one that Bryce was drinking, but it's
Why?
actually really smooth.
Twice
Yeah.
as bitter.
All
Before
right.
they tell you what the ABV is and what the IBUs are, Karbach does conveniently remind you to recycle, damn it. That is a logo on the top of the can, which I do
Well, that's
appreciate.
really nice of them. And
Yeah.
a good
Thanks,
cause.
Starbucks.
We actually agree with that cause here at Alcohol and Arcana, I would say.
I don't actually. Bryce is not pro recycling. We haven't really gotten into it. I don't think Bryce likes recycling.
Bryce
No.
is pro littering, though.
As an
Yeah.
environmental consultant, I advise everyone no recycling.
Yeah,
He gets
because
it.
that's how he makes his money.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all completely self-serving, but he's just like, yeah, just fuck shit up. Well, today I am going to continue down the Shiner line, and I'm going to go with Shiner Mango Kolsch today. It's 4.9% alcohol, and Shiner does a really good job with their summer and flavored beers, so I'm really excited to try this one. We'll see how it is.
Give us your opinion here.
It's really, really smooth. Very, very tasty beer. I could see me drinking far too many of these if I'm sitting by the pool. If you're into mango at all, I could not recommend the Mango Kolsch anymore. It is awesome.
Mango. That sounds like a good flavor, but I couldn't be more distracted by Bryce just shoving chicken and rice down into his face during this video session.
Is it mango chicken?
No.
Is it mango chicken, Bryce?
Oh, well, that's less exciting now, isn't it? Yep,
Less
it is.
exciting is
So,
Less exciting is the true definition of just chicken and rice for dinner.
All right, so what exactly are we talking about today, and why is it Ettins? So, Travis, I mean, we all know exactly what an Ettin is. Everybody knows exactly what an Ettin is. But let's just say, by some off chance, one of our listeners who's never heard of an Ettin before, how would you describe these bad boys?
First of all, that's absurd. That's an absurd circumstance. Everybody does know, indeed, what an Ettin is. It's everybody's favorite creature. I think we picked it just to sort of, kind of, like I said, pick some low-hanging fruit. But an Ettin, in and of itself, you would recognize it primarily. We really do talk a lot about, okay, what sticks out the most about a creature. If you first saw it, what would be the first thing that stood out to you?
First line on Tinder.
And from
13 foot tall.
You guys read on Tinder before just swiping right? I see a picture out.
13
yeah,
foot
would
tall.
you swipe left or right on an Ettin?
Oh,
Thir-
very much left.
No,
Call it
13
pecan.
foot tall. You got it. That's all I need.
Actually, never used Tinder. Is left good or is left bad?
Larry is bad, Roger is good.
So you would swipe bad on an Ettin.
Yeah, I'm
a
swiping
tragedy.
Larry on that bad boy.
That's a tragedy. But the first thing you notice, I think, if you were to actually come about an Ettin in real life, is probably its stench. They don't shower.
Mm-hmm.
They actually do not bathe. They do not believe in taking baths. They generally accumulate a pretty thick layer of dirt and grime over time, and they're very much against that, which I think is fine. I think there's a whole sort of subculture revolved around not, putting all the chemicals and stuff on your bodies. I think that's respectable.
Do all Ettins have dreads, or
dreads? Yes.
Yeah, every Ettin's got dreads.
To have a dread.
So
Yeah,
what?
absolutely.
All right. So now I know if I'm in a forest and I'm just walking down the road and I just smell fucking the absolute worst smell in the universe, something is awry, right?
Ettin.
So what could
That's
pop out behind the tree? What am I going to see when this boy pops out right behind the tree, Travis?
That'd be a big fucking tree, man. They're related.
It's got to be a big tree.
Yeah, first of all, it's not going to be like your tiny tree. It's going to be one of your big oaks or big pines to sort of satisfactorily obscure an Ettin, because it is a giant creature. This Ettin's going to come out. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be grimy. And then something small that you might notice, but maybe you shouldn't draw too much attention to out of sort of niceties, and you don't want to be rude, is the fact that it does have two heads.
What?
It is two-headed.
I'm sorry, what?
Yep, two heads.
Again, we
Ettins
didn't
have two heads.
I feel like we do a really poor job of starting with the craziest thing about a creature on this show. You're like, he's a smelly boy. By the way, he's got two heads and is 15 feet tall.
Well, what you're going to be more worried about? You're going to smell him. You got to smell him.
Yeah, that's a fair point. You're right. My bad.
He's got two big old heads. And they are distinct personalities, apparently. They are two separate personas or people.
Yep. They are individuals.
They each control their own respective sides of the body of the Ettin.
Now, here's the question.
Which I think is just fascinating.
No, here's the
I
question.
think that's just absolutely fascinating.
Who controls the dick? Or genitals? It doesn't have to be a dick.
Well, I think that each side controls one testicle.
Well, what about females?
True.
What if it doesn't
Each
have
side
to?
controls one side of the labia.
One ovary.
Oh, yeah. No, one experiences a period 1 month and the next.
That's how that works.
The concept of controlling any testicle is a little bit foreign to me, because I just feel like I have no control over anything down there. Like,
You're
don't
telling
know
me.
what's going to happen.
Mine are detached.
So, fun fact. There are actually people
I don't want to know.
who can control their testicles and suck them back up inside to their body.
I can do that. Make it 10 degrees outside. Pop up in there.
No.
You can't do
I'm not
that.
talking about temperature related. I'm not talking about like the outside influences. I'm talking about they can literally be like, let's bring these bad boys back inside. Like, have you ever seen those videos of those like older monk dudes just getting absolutely waylaid in the dong?
Like, what do you watch
That's
on
what they
YouTube?
do, is
Like,
they suck it into their
They
abdomen.
suck their
to
balls
control-
right back into their right back into the torso.
I don't want to know what you search on Google.
Well, that's kind of half
Go
of
ahead
the
and put-
podcast now, isn't it?
Can we go ahead and put those search links onto our Instagram page so
God.
that everybody else can enjoy those?
No, absolutely. And this is real science. It's certainly been backed up by scientific papers and not total nonsense.
When they spit the testicles back out, does it make a noise like this?
Oh, it does it twice though, Travis. So that was actually inaccurate. There it is. Okay, now we're back.
That's amazing and also disturbing and also sexy? I don't know. There's a lot going on there.
What would you do if you had that power? Just like, yuck!
So
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
I'm actually... So back to Bryce's question, who controls the dick? That's actually a super good question. Do
Yeah, it
they
is.
have two dicks? I didn't read otherwise.
No, they have
So-
one dick. They got one dick.
They have one dick. Okay.
They got one dick. Two heads, one dick.
They don't have to have a dick, like genitals. They have one
Okay, fine. Genitals.
one genital.
They have two sets of genitals. They only have one set of genitals, male or female.
Yes.
I did read that the females initiate sex the most. Like, they're actually pretty intent on grabbing them boy Ettins and making sure that they do their due diligence as far as procreating and furthering the Ettin race.
Happens to me all the
That's
time.
fair.
Yeah. Yeah. There's really no difference in my life relative to the Ettins.
So what I
experience.
think what I found most interesting about what you've talked about so far is that both of the heads essentially argue all the fucking time.
Okay.
Like,
That's true.
You're wrong.
okay.
It wasn't until 3rd edition that they argued. Before that, it specifically said they did not argue.
Interesting. Why do you think there was a change there?
To make it more funny, like for role playing.
Fox News was created.
Yeah. That was about the time Sean Hannity came into prominence. So.
Damn you, Tucker Carlson and Crossfire!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fucking bow ties.
So
Fucking bow ties.
both heads have to be of different sides of the political spectrum.
Oh, 100%. 100% accurate.
I'm just imagining that. I'm imagining like fucking Hillary Trump voter.
No, dude, it'd be like, oh my god. So who would be the head opposite of Ben Shapiro to make for the most entertaining Ettin in history?
Oh god. It's gotta be one of the Pod Save America guys.
Yeah, I was thinking
like
that, like John Lovett, man.
Oh,
Either
Lovett
John
would be
Lovett or
good.
Dan Pfeiffer.
Oh, man. Rick Wilson wouldn't be bad. I know he's definitely more on the
I
right
like
side of
Rick
things.
Wilson. Yeah.
But he would absolutely argue the fuck with fucking Ben Shapiro.
Lovett, I know you're into D&D lore. When you're listening to this, be sure and tag us.
Yeah. I don't think I would ever be happier if we got an 18-minute rant of Ben Shapiro's like unintelligible consciousness about how ettins are actually this compared to us. Like nothing.
Listen, let me tell you about the ettins. Okay,
Let me tell you about the ettins.
First of all, let me tell you about the ettins. So first of all, the ettins don't they don't believe in paying taxes, and they just leave off. They're freeloaders, and they don't fight for our country, and. So that's my Ben Shapiro.
Why should okay? So here's the deal with ettins. Let me go ahead and say, why should I have to pay for goblins for the ettins? Like, why does that even matter? I pay taxes to other things. Ettins, I don't even have to pay for goblins for taxes. I don't have to pay the goblins. God damn.
So welcome to our show.
The key to a good Ben Shapiro impression is just talk really fast and just say complete bullshit.
Oh,
the entire
100%.
time.
Kind of like our podcast. We just bullshit.
Oh, well, we talk slower, but yeah, same thing.
No, Ben Shapiro is my primary influence for this podcast. So
He's my inspiration. He's my muse.
yeah, yep.
All right. So
But yeah,
with
they
that
didn't always
said,
argue
so
with
seeing
each
as
other.
seeing as these heads like always argue with each other and they
No,
really never get along.
they do
past
now.
third edition, Bryce.
I will fight you. I'm going to crawl
I
through
just
this
said it.
computer screen.
He's an originalist. He was a
your caveat.
textualist.
Your caveat is there. So let's act like it's past third edition, right? And we are all an Ettin, and we have a head next to us. Who would you want that head to be the least?
Besides either of you.
Yeah, of course. No, we already know that. Oh God, I couldn't even imagine.
Okay.
Personally, mine would be the opera singer from the J.G. Wentworth commercials.
That would be my most preferred.
You say that, like, initially you'd love it. Like, for the first 3 days, like, I had a goblin and I want to eat that bitch now. Nah, it's fun for a while, but it gets old.
J.G. Wentworth. Yeah, I wouldn't even get into that at the beginning. I would just immediately smother that head.
Yeah, you're gonna have but then you have a dead, rotting head next to you.
Mine would be a toss-up between Rachel Ray
Ooh, but she can cook.
or Guy
That she
Guy
could cook for
Fieri.
you, though.
But both could cook. No, fuck that.
I can
Why
cook.
are you
Fuck you
opposed to
guys.
cooking heads?
Look, I watch a lot of cooking shows, okay?
Oh, how are you hating on the Fieri, dog?
Dude, can you imagine?
Flavor Town.
Yeah, anytime you want to
Flavor
go
Town.
get a snack, we're going to Flavor Town.
I mean, I'd rather that than having to deal with a constant opera singer.
No way. And then Rachel Ray talk about EVOO all the time. It's like, just call it all. Just stop the charade.
I do
Pisses
not
me
know.
off so
I did
bad.
not know this was a controversy. I had no idea this was an issue on the
If
Fig
any
Network.
of you ever say EVOO to me instead of olive oil, I will.
Now I know I'm
facepalm
always
you.
going to say that to you.
You're gonna get.
But if
a
you ever
palm to
have
the
a
face.
structured settlement and you need to murder a goblin now, I am very over it.
My head that I think I would actually just completely hate is if it was Elon Musk. I really
Ooh.
don't think I would
Good
be
one.
able to handle Elon Musk with his like kind of pseudo-American / South African accent and the pretentiousness and
That's a good
like
one.
he is smarter than me. I know that he's smarter than me, but he's not as smart as everyone else thinks he is, and that's just
yeah.
like the perfect annoying balance where I can't really do anything about it. I can't like out argue him. He's obviously going to beat me in an argument, but I also know that he's full of crap in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But I can't really prove it because I'm not smart enough to do it.
That is a
That's
good one.
me. That
That's a
would be
really,
the most
really good one.
humiliating.
You're driving me down a new route here because now I'm just thinking about whose accent would I hate the worst to be next to me. And it's absolutely Bill from True Blood, the English actor who tries to do a Southern accent. And it would fucking, nothing would drive me goddamn crazy. Oh, Sookie. So
Yeah,
kill
I've already
me.
stated my opinion on him just saying Sookie. So yeah, that would
Oh,
be
it's
pretty
the
awful.
fucking worst. Oh.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, not a lot of accents like
We're gonna go to Sainsbury's. No, we're not.
Let's go feed the night ducks. Well, I don't want to do it now.
Look out for Zainsby's in your next visit to Baldur's Gate. We're gonna open a franchise there. So
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right, so we know they have two personalities, and we know those two personalities don't get along, right? We know that's like the biggest thing for Ettin.
Here's actually. So I was gonna bring this up too because we talked a little bit about who would be the most annoying person to be your head, but then I was like, you know what? They have the wakeful attribute, so just reading up on that a little bit, that means that whenever they are asleep, you are awake. And if you are adhering to the Surgeon General's recommendation of an 8-hour sleep schedule, that really only leaves 8 hours of wakeful contact with your other head. And there are actually a lot of coworkers that I deal with on an 8-hour basis that are pretty bad.
Literally all of them.
I think I can deal with it. So I feel like as far as the level of terrible heads that you could endure is actually, I think we can endure a lot more than we think we could that in mind.
This is where
Travis,
you're making an assumption. Just because they're asleep doesn't mean you don't have to deal with it.
That's fair.
Think about a sleeping coworker right next to you for 8 hours. Like, God, this guy.
Can I go ahead and put out a scenario that I feel is a little more similar than this? Did you guys live in the dorm?
The dorm?
A dorm.
I lived
a
in-
dorm doesn't matter.
You know the dorm, Bryce.
I lived in a
Did you live
dorm.
in the dorm? You know the dorm.
Oh, fucking God. Fine.
Listen,
yes,
you're
did
the
you
lawyer.
live in a dorm when you lived in your college? Fine. So my point is, we all lived with another human being, and we were all 18 years old at one point, and we were all little horny rapscallions, I would say. So,
Not
but
me.
imagine that you and your roommate shared a dick.
I
Like,
don't know. That might work to
now-
my benefit.
you have to sneak masturbating, but not only do you have to sneak masturbate past just him coming home, but you have to sneak masturbating past them feeling their own dick. How do you get away with that? Like,
No, you embrace it, man. You guys share in that
question.
experience.
I mean, you're not wrong, but if I'm jerking it while my roommate is asleep and he woke up going, "Oh man, that feels nice," that would not really in the
That'd
mood
kill it.
anymore.
That would
Why
kill
not?
it.
That would help it for me.
All right, well,
Bryce
hey,
is
you know what?
into it.
Teach his own, I guess. I'm just saying.
That means it's not just satisfying for me. It's satisfying for him too. It's a win-win, huh?
Good point. I take it back.
Good lord.
All right, so
Yeah,
what
I
else do
don't
we
know.
need to know about these big, giant, two-headed, annoying bastards?
Well, I was going to talk a little bit about their origin. Because,
Yeah, that's what I wanted to bring up.
There's a bit of dispute here.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get your guys' opinion on where Ettins
I want to
came
know.
from.
Okay, Travis, I want to know what you think, and I'm going to tell you why you're wrong. Go ahead.
Okay, all right. So, well, I'll tell you two things. The first thing is that from what we know of Ettins, the suspicion is that they came about after orcs offended the Demogorgon,
Mhm.
who has two heads.
Mhm.
And the Demogorgon was like, hey, fuck you guys. I don't know what you did. We don't really know, but I'm mad about it. And so I'm going to curse you guys. I'm going to curse some orcs, and I'm going to give you two heads, and you're going to deal with it.
Yep.
And they became a race of giants that have two heads. And a lot of the orcs feel somewhat of a commonality, somewhat of a kinship with the Ettins. And so a lot of folks consider Ettins as a two-headed giant orc,
Mhm.
so to speak.
Mhm.
However, the contention to this a little bit is that if you read about the giant species and you read a little bit about the ordning, and you see that Ettins themselves are part of that, it makes you wonder, okay, were they always giants then? Because they're are last on the rung of the ladder as far as the ordning is concerned, but does that mean that they are sort of officially giants,
Well,
and they are of that
And I think
line?
the answer is both.
Okay.
So it did.
Well,
So yeah, the Demogorgon did bring these guys about, but they've been about for so long now that they just kind of inherited that rung with the giants. That's what they're considered.
So anybody that gets over a certain height level just
Yep.
becomes a part of the ordning. So if I'm born a dwarf, and I'm just so happen to be 15 feet tall,
Yep.
I can be a part of the ordning?
You absolutely could.
I don't know about that. Let's kick it over to our rules lawyer, Blake. What do you think about
Can a
just
dwarf
being
be a
associated
giant?
with the giants?
I mean, I guess it depends on the technical definition of giant. Like, in the real world, in this human non-fantasy world, I think that a giant is anything over 7 feet tall, right?
Wait, hold up.
Is the official definition.
They're real giants?
It's like 7'5", 7'6", somewhere in there. So, I mean, if it's just a height thing, yes, certainly. A dwarf could technically be a giant. However, if it is a race-specific thing, like you had to be born into this race of people, then no.
I didn't know they were real
So
giants.
I'm actually not sure then at that point. So if the Ettins are orcs, if they're actually
Travis,
orcs,
before you go on, can I give a small example?
Ettins aren't orcs. Ettins are Ettins.
Ettins are Ettins, but they are also, like, orcs that at least revere them or at least know that they're at least part of their society. But that's beside the point. But in like, at least in human society, to at least be, like, considered, like, to have dwarfism, you have to be under 5 foot tall, I believe is the official definition, by 18. So there actually was a human, a man, who actually became the tallest man in the world, but he was 4'11" at 18. So he was the only human being to have dwarfism and become a full-blown giant by the time he died. Now, that being said, I haven't actually researched these claims fully.
Do you have one head? Do you have one head or two heads?
Oh, fuck. Oh, my God.
Did you look that up?
No, I saw the pictures. Like, I didn't even... Oh, my God.
Just stared at his dick the whole time. Didn't even see the head.
I didn't. I was just so lost in the dick, I didn't even think about the 2 heads he had. But no, so there actually was a human, and at least it's a rumor, and it might just be a classic myth, but one of the people who was the tallest man at the time, in whenever it was, I think it was the early 1900s, he was technically had dwarfism by when he was 18, and then by the time he died, ended up like 8 foot something.
What a whirlwind.
I'm going to call bullshit on a lot of this.
It probably is. That's why I'm giving the caveats.
Even your...
Bryce, you can't just declare bullshit on a bulk of it. You have to take it piecemeal,
No.
and then you declare bullshit on each individual item. So take it piece by piece.
Wholesale bullshit.
Okay,
Starting with your
bullshit. You can do
definition of dwarfism.
Okay.
I don't think it's a height requirement. It's like a proportion thing.
So, Bryce, actually, according to Wikipedia, dwarfism, also known as short stature, occurs when an organism is extremely small. In humans, it is sometimes defined as an adult less than 4'10" tall. It's Wikipedia, so take it with a grain of salt, obviously, but that is where I had that general information.
Well, okay then.
Yeah, so here's the guy's name. It's Adam Rainier.
Oh
right?
shit, that's real?
Yeah, no, I really wasn't bullshitting. This is actually like a legit thing I've heard of. I don't know the full example, so I was trying to like give caveats for it. But
Damn.
Rainer was born in Austria-Hungary. At the age of 18, he measured 4 feet, 4 foot and a quarter inch tall, which is a typically defining characteristic of dwarfism. By 1932, so by the age of 33, he was 7'2".
Wow.
By the time he died, he was 7'8". So yeah, no, he really did go from technical dwarfism to a technical giant.
I didn't even know giantism was a thing. I didn't know they considered that giant.
I think it's more of just like an issue where you're like, it fucks with your glands so much that you won't stop growing. But I think, and I'm so sorry if this is offensive and I truly don't mean it to be, that I think it's over 7 foot tall.
So like 95% of the NBA is giants.
I think, no, it's something stupid. Like,
No,
I think it's
7 foot.
Do you want to hear something even crazier? I think it's something like 50% of people over 7 foot tall in the world are in the NBA.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
It's something very
It's
ridiculous.
like you have like a 30% chance to be in the NBA if you're over 7
yeah,
foot
if you're
tall.
over 7 foot tall, like, you got a shot.
I just came into this. Being over 7 feet tall in the NBA is not super common. I mean, like it's
No.
Most folks are between 6'5" and 7 feet. I think. So,
No, that's accurate. That's absolutely accurate.
I feel like I personally I'm about 6'6", 6'7", right? I think.
Yeah, you're a very big boy.
Yeah, I'm right under 7. I'm like 6'10", 6'11". It's been a little while, but
I'm a strong 5'10".
yeah. I'm like 5'9", 5'10".
I am 5'11".
Liar.
But on Tinder, I'm 6 foot.
That's right. You can't put 5'11" on Tinder. You got to put 6 foot. Because if people don't think you're 6 feet, then they assume you're 5'5" or something.
All right, so back to Ettins.
So Ettins
Man, they're
hide. They
interesting.
keep treasure to bargain with. Did you guys know this?
I did know this.
What was this about?
What kind of treasure?
Yeah, they keep treasures as like bartering chips, basically. So if they live their life, they just want what they want. They try to get it, so they'll bargain with you with this treasure they have. But they don't really care about keeping their agreements. They don't feel bound by them. They just want to get what they want. So if they get it before they've fulfilled their end of the bargain, it doesn't matter to them. They've got what they want.
That's fair.
They're selfish bastards.
That's interesting. I didn't know that they had like a big bartering system. Did you
this
see?
is according to 3rd edition, so I don't know if it's the same in 5th.
I mean, hell, we might as well keep it. I don't see any reason not to. The thing that I saw that was interesting about Ettins was that they are actually susceptible to lycanthropy.
Yeah,
Right?
No, I didn't hear that.
Whoa! I did
So-
not see that.
Yes. So Ettins are actually susceptible to lycanthropy,
it
but here's the
everyone?
deal. Yes, all Ettins are susceptible to it. However, there's a 10% chance that one of the heads will not be affected. Also,
What?
No, that'd be interesting.
Ettins can never go into the full animal form, just the hybrid form, right? So that's just like your classic, like, man-wolf beast, right? If you're talking about a werewolf. So imagine that you're the head that doesn't turn into that. You're just like, oh, shit, Jerry, what the fuck? As he just turns into a full-blown werewolf right next to you?
No, let's go
My
another step
God.
farther. What if they're both affected by different kinds of lycanthropy? One side, you could have a real-life cat dog, right?
What?
Oh, shit! Okay, we got a
Bryce,
whole
you
new
just
thing.
blew my
Run-
mind.
What is the most powerful double lycanthrope Ettin, right? Like, you get the powers of two werebeasts. What are they going to be?
It's fucking bear and tiger. It can't be anything other than bear and tiger.
It
No.
absolutely could be something other than bear and tiger.
No,
you
it's
know
gotta
why?
be like
Because it's
an-
going to be it's going to be tiger and eagle. So now we got a flying
No.
motherfucker.
Fuck.
No, it's got to be like
That's...
ant and cockroach or something.
Okay, get out of here with that shit.
Because an ant
that's
can lift
your
like
insect
100
shit.
times its body weight. Cockroach live through radiation. Fuck you.
But a tiger's a tiger.
It's a fucking tiger.
You go
It's
lick a
fucking-
cockroach and see how long
tiger.
you live.
Well,
It's the same
let's
old
see if a
argument.
tiger
how many
comes out.
times,
You'll see how long you live, Bryce.
How many times have we had the ant versus tiger argument with Bryce? It's just an ongoing.
I'm usually on the other
It's
side of
never
it.
going to end. We're always going to be on Team Tiger. Bryce is always going to be
Okay,
Team
listen here,
Dumbass, and
LSU.
we'll
I'm
just
never
go
going to be on
from
Team
there.
Tiger, okay?
All right. So what other things about Ettins do we have? Is their lore rather shallow? Unfortunately.
I had some legal questions for our legal rules lawyer.
It's all, I always
hate
say
this
lawyer, but I'm an idiot.
I hate this bit.
So, legal question. If I get super tired of my Elon Musk counterpart head and I
Okay.
smother him in his sleep,
Okay.
is that considered suicide?
No.
Oh,
It's a different, what's it called?
consciousness.
Consciousness. That is the word I was looking for.
Oh, fuck, Travis.
The answer is no.
You just brought me right back to 1L year right now. Kaylee McEnany and me are hanging out again.
What does Kaylee say?
Oh, probably fucking lies.
Oh, no. Kaylee thinks you murdered that thing, 100%. There's no doubt.
Was it a fetus? If it was a fetus, it was murder.
Wait. Oh, very important question if we're asking Kaylee. Was the other head here legally? Okay, so
That's a good
legitimately talking about general legal principles, it's murder. It's murder.
No. Wait,
Yeah,
murder.
it's
Wait,
murder.
no, I agree with you.
That's
I'm
murder.
sorry. I heard it wrong. I wanted to disagree, but you're right. Okay.
question. Okay, so also, if the Ettin commits a crime,
Yeah?
and one of the heads argues that it was not involved or consenting to the crime, how do you separate the intent, the mens rea of...
They can't legally be asked
Yeah.
to testify against the other.
That's true. I feel like you wouldn't be able to testify against the other. That's a
No.
good point, Bryce. But then how do you separate intent across the consciousness of a two-headed Ettin?
Well, the right side's always
Let's
dominant.
bring it to the courtroom.
You don't.
Let's bring it to the courtroom.
You don't. So I think that the question actually becomes like, isn't whether or not you can or can't charge one of the Ettins with whatever crime they did. I think the ethical question in that point becomes whether or not you can punish the innocent Ettin, right? Like,
Yeah, how do you separate them? How do you?
Yeah, you just
don't.
no, you just
Like,
put one. No, you
this is
put one.
clearly it's
You put one arm and one head in the stocks. The other head and arm are free. It's fine.
yeah, but even then,
but they're not free.
the other ettin is still stuck.
But they're
next
not in the
to
stocks,
right?
They're not in the stocks. It's fine.
But they're not free to do anything
They are.
want.
They are free.
You're
they're not in the stocks.
You're not though, dude.
You don't understand.
Man, that's a hypothetical that I don't have an answer to. Like, I guess the question is would you put an innocent person in jail if that was the only way?
Here's the thing:
to put a criminal in jail.
one of the Ettin's sides can die, and the other one can still live a full life.
What?
Yeah.
Yes, one of the heads can die, and the other ettin can go on. They'll see them other ettins will see them as a freak at that point.
Right, one head. Can you imagine?
Weird.
Ugh.
Is this
Fucking
like
losers.
a corpse head? So
Yeah.
who controls the side? That
Well,
the
they're
dead
so
head is
they're
on?
so used to getting around with one side anyway. I'm sure they just manage.
I think if the other head dies, I think that they would just assume control of the full body. That's the assumption I was working under.
Oh, I was working on the assumption that they just dealt with like hauling that around.
Oh my god, just like one hopping everywhere.
I mean, they're used to only having that one side anyway. I don't think it's that big a deal.
Yeah, but I mean, they just had control of the one side. They're also used to the other half of their body still being able to walk.
Yeah, but I mean, would that help them or hurt them? Can you imagine trying to coordinate with someone else? Like, all right, left foot now. Come on. Yeah, my turn. Now left foot. Come on.
It would decrease their athletic ability, and so from an NBA center's perspective, it would be much like the NBA's equivalent of Dwight Howard. So I think the athleticism would be equivalent.
I can't get over this question because it's quite literally we have to imprison an innocent to put
You don't.
a criminal in jail.
You don't have to imprison an innocent. Half is in the
Would
stocks.
if one of the heads was innocent.
Half the head is in the stocks. The other half is free.
But it
Okay, that's like
inhibits
saying
the
my foot is the thing that really kicks someone's ass. So we're gonna put my foot in shackles, but the rest of my body can just go do whatever the fuck it wants. That's not
totally
how it
fine.
works.
That's totally
And now
fine.
you can't be a soccer player. It inhibits you.
If your foot has its own consciousness, I would agree with you.
Yeah, but you would still lock up, by all intents and purposes, me as a
No.
human being. If my foot has its own consciousness,
Uh-uh.
it's still going to be locked up if you
would
tie
be
my foot up.
You would be free to vote
I wouldn't be.
or whatever.
I'm not free at that point. I can't move.
Why can't you move? You got another foot.
I'm
But
still
only one-
tied with my other foot is still tied somewhere.
Well,
which
you can't
means
go
I'm
very
still tied somewhere.
far, but you can move.
Yeah, you're inhibited.
No, I don't
This
know.
gets further complicated with the fact that ettins could actually have more than two heads.
What?
Yeah, this is news to
Yes.
me. Hold on.
They can have more than two heads. There are ettins that have 3+ heads. I think 3 is the one I read about. Yeah, you can have an ettin with 3 heads.
Now, where did you read about a three-headed Ettin? I think you're reading about something else.
If you read about no. You can have 3-headed ettins. It's very rare, but it can happen.
Slight philosophical question here, right? So you said that obviously an ettin can live on without its other head, right? But I think it would be unjust to lock up an innocent ettin. So the question becomes:
Murder it.
would capital punishment be the only acceptable way?
You immediately go to murder.
I mean, I disagree with capital punishment on principle, regardless of the situation.
Murder
So
by
I
drowning.
would immediately hate this idea. So I mean, I think it's gross regardless. But like, how do you solve that issue?
Murder by drowning. You drown one of them,
Oh,
and the
I'm
other one
back
has
in
to
now.
hold their
Yeah,
breath.
no, sorry, we're good now. That's the only like ethical way. Is just drown one of the heads.
Yes.
Yeah. Murder by drowning is actually, it's just nothing. It's like even a big deal.
Like
I
waterboarding.
mean,
It's
that's
nothing
what they
really.
say.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not even
so
torture.
back to our two most prominent questions. How spooky do you find these boys? You're feeding the ducks. It's 9
Night ducks.
p.m.
9 p.m.
You're under
ducks.
the bench. You got the light on you. You got this 13-foot, two-headed, stinky bastard coming at you. How spooky do you find him?
I mean, the stench alone is enough to put me off. I'd probably negative.
That's terrifying.
-3.
Wait, so I thought that if we're calling him spooky, like the higher the number, the
Oh,
spooky
right. You're
you
right.
find him.
I'm sorry. +3. You're right.
+3. Okay. Travis, what are your thoughts? How spooky do you find this boy? Two arguing heads.
Yeah, no, I think they're pretty spooky.
And also, we didn't get into it, but they wear like the fantasy equivalent of sweatpants.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they do.
So
Fill us in on exactly what that is, Bryce, before Travis gives his answer.
this is like dead animal hides. Like they're not tanned or anything. It's like carcasses of animals rotting around.
Yeah,
them.
they smell like pure fucking ass.
Apparently they do smell super bad.
Yeah. And they're so unhygienic that like if you get near them or like interact with them, like you might catch a disease.
Shit.
All right,
Didn't know
Travis.
Yeah, like it's a mechanic in the game. Like you'll be diseased.
So in that case, how do I interact with your normal super stinky vagrants? Your Austinites,
Hey,
homeless
easy.
or otherwise.
I like Austin.
I'd say a plus 2. I think because there'd be a level of sort of comedic intrigue. I'd be curious at how they're arguing with each other. I'd almost stick around just to see.
I mean,
the back and forth. What's that?
they're also 13 foot tall.
Yeah, that's true.
And they're fucking yacked.
It might scare the night ducks away.
I'd still be curious. So I'm not gonna go too far. I'd stick around. I guess if I saw a 2-headed Ettin while I was feeding ducks, there would be a part of me that would, out of curiosity itself, want to stick around and see, hey, how's this gonna shake out? How are these guys gonna settle their argument? Despite the terrible smell and the gigantic features and the dreadlocks and the tusks.
Listen, I don't want to put out there that dreadlocks are inherently dirty. There are very clean dreadlocks. Dreadlocks does
No,
not
there
mean
certainly
you're a
are.
dirty
There
person.
absolutely are. However, there are very dirty dreadlocks, which is why I brought it up earlier.
I imagine they're dirty dreadlocks for the Ettins, is what I would ascribe to them.
It's one dreadlock.
I'm going to go similar with you boys. I'm going -4. That stank, that size, +4. That stink, that size, how strong they are, the arguing, that's scary to me. I'm saying that's a +4.
Yeah, they are spooky.
So I'm going to go ahead and say we're not going to have a very long conversation on sexiness because -5 is the right answer.
Nope. +3 for me.
+3,
Yeah.
go on. Tell me why you think they're sexy.
Oh man, like there's something. One, they're 13 foot tall, so that's like automatically in the positive.
You are a size queen. I love that.
Mhm. Yep. And then that's all they got going for them, huh?
Yeah, that's
Well,
it.
Yeah, the women. I mean, they're aggressive when they want you. That's cool.
Yeah.
I think that's a big plus. The
Okay.
women, when they want to procreate, they're just ready to go. They'll pick you out and they'll say, "It's time. This is what we're gonna do. Block out your schedule for the next 5 minutes,
30 seconds for me.
And-
Let's go.
30 seconds, and then this is what we're gonna do." And you really don't have a choice. There's no consent. It just goes. It just happens.
Yeah.
And that's an appeal. That's a plus for some people.
I guess the aggressiveness of the females would move me from -5 to -4.
Great.
However, the way you described it as if there was no choice brings me right back down to -5.
Yeah, I have a problem with the no consent, but
Yeah, the moment I was like, interesting point. And then you're like, no consent, they're coming for you. And I was like, okay, that's awful.
What if you're not into the same girl that your head is into, your other head is into? How do you
Oh.
deal with that, you know? You gotta talk through those issues.
There's a lot of issues. Huh. Just so many issues.
And this is why I love Ettins.
maybe that's why they don't worry about consent because they can never get it.
What if
Yeah.
we threw Travis and me in an Ettin body and then we went to an LSU and Auburn game? What happens at that point?
What the fuck do we do?
I mean,
don't know.
besides murder each other, because one would die.
I mean, you could each root for different sides. Like just because you share a
No,
body doesn't mean
no.
Bryce,
You could
don't
even-
be ridiculous.
you could even
Don't be
wear a
ridiculous.
custom-made jersey that's half and
No.
half.
Everyone knows that when you're rooting for a sports team, the only thing that matters is who's your dick rooting more. And
No,
we
what
share
matters
that dick.
but it is in writing that the right side is the dominant side always.
Oh, that
So-
was mine. Then LSU's going to definitely win. This game.
That's Auburn. That's the Auburn side. That's the
No,
Travis
no.
Auburn side.
Nope, already been said. Got it in first, Travis. Got it in one.
Which
You're
one
an
of you
idiot.
were born first? I think it was Blake.
No.
Yeah, what year were you born, Travis?
88.
Oh, well, he's older. Fuck him.
Well, Travis is the right side. Going for them Auburn.
Hell
This
yes.
is bullshit. This is bullshit. I want to root for a
Hell
good
yes. Well, too bad.
team. Well, too bad. All right. Well, that is, I think, all we have on Ettins at the moment.
Which is sad because there's so much lore. There's
So
much.
If you want Ettin Part 2, let us know.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have at least part 2, probably part 3 and 4 at some point. This
You
is a
can-
huge topic.
Reach us on Twitter, Alcohol and Arcana. On Instagram, Alcohol in... Wait, no, hold on, I got that wrong. Instagram's Alcohol and Arcana. Twitter's Alcohol in the letter N Arcana. Or you can reach out to alcoholandarcana@gmail.com. or Blake, Bryce, or Travis at alcoholandarcana.com. Those are 3 different email addresses. Our name and then Alcohol and Arcana. Bryce is BRYCE, by the way, not BRI. I don't know who spells it BRI, but everybody asks. It's BRY. BRYCE.
Also, by the way, if you do rate our show as a 5-star show and post it on Instagram or Twitter, the first 5 people to do that, we will send you a sticker for the logo of the podcast.
Yeah, the 5 people last week got it, and they are pumped.
They are pumped. Also, if you have any fantasy arguments that you could possibly imagine over any fantasy, doesn't have to be, it could be science fiction as well. If you want to go into Star Wars or Star Trek, we will do some research and argue for you. We will find the right answer for your
Lord
argument.
of the Rings, Dune, whatever. Existence, we got it.
Do you want to argue about whether or not they should have just taken the Eagles? We'll look into that. Do you want to talk about whether or not Luke Skywalker was a punk-ass bitch in the new trilogy? We'll absolutely disagree with Travis on how wrong he is when we talk about that. So just go ahead and give us whatever argument you can imagine, and we will happily go through it for you.
So, here's where I'm at. Han shot first. Jar Jar Binks is a good character. Fight me.
Oh, God, we need to argue. We need to argue. If you want to hear us argue a full episode on why Jar Jar Binks sucks / why Bryce thinks Jar Jar Binks is good, please let us know, and we will dedicate a whole damn thing to that.
To be clear, it says more about Bryce than it does about Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
That he likes that character.
That I'm right? Yeah, okay. I don't have to like his personality to know he's a good character.
Well, thanks again for listening, and we hope you'll come back next week, and we really do appreciate you. We're Alcohol and Arcana, and we come out every
Mondays!
Well, I'm going to post it on Mondays. It depends on your platform when it comes out, so like whenever they refresh their feed. So Monday or Tuesday, whatever it is.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, thanks for listening. Have a good one, everybody.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.